Hey guys, Alton Jones here with Rehabs2Riches, and I'm here at our South Central LA property, and I want to show you what it's going to take to bring this bad boy home. Sometimes you just have to beg for forgiveness, then ask for permission. And by that, I mean, your neighbor's yard is just whacked up. I mean, I look at these weeds that are so tall right here, and I'm looking at my house, I'm trying to sell it, and you got to think, do I want to cut these things down, or do I want to leave them there? Because if you leave them there, it could reflect the buyer's mindset as to, is this a nice property or not? So I say, cut it down, clean it up, make it right, make your house look beautiful, make your neighbor's house look beautiful, and everything is going to be A-OK. What we have here, folks, is decomposed granite. This is the majority of our landscaping here because we're trying to keep a drought-tolerant landscape, and we're trying to curb our carbon footprint on the environment. And that way we don't have to put in water lines, irrigation, or sod, because it can be very costly not only an install, but also on your monthly water bill. So if we can reduce our carbon footprint by having something like this decomposed granite, it'll help us be able to save the cost overall. So that's landscaping, folks. So now that we're in the front house and we're in the living room on the inside, and there's some little detailed things that has to be done when we're trying to bring it home and get it ready to be staged and on the market. So one of the things I saw here as I walked through is the baseboard. These baseboards are all done except for this little piece here. And you can tell with the little dots on there, the baseboard has to be caulked over with a little Bondo material, and has to be sanded and repainted so we can have a smooth look. We don't want to make sure it looks like one piece all flowing through from one end to the other. The other thing is these little detail marks on the wall. Because you finished painting the house doesn't mean that you're finished with the touch-ups. And these little areas here are vitally important to getting the house done. The other thing is these light fixtures here. Even though they look beautiful and pretty and elegant, the problem is it's uneven. And we have to go in here and make sure the level of each of the cords are evenly cut. And right now it's not that way. So we have to have our electrician licensed, bonded, and insured to come in there and correct that for us. The other area is, another area of, this is a simple, easy fix, is this light fixture that actually needs caulking around it. So a little bit of guy, you get one guy with a caulking gun, and he just goes around here and putties around it to keep that thing clear. As we finish going through here, there's another vitally important thing that we deal with, and that's between the laminate floor and the tile floor. There's a thing called a riser that goes between the laminate floor and the tile floor. We have about 1.5 inch gap. So we're going to use a thing called a reducer. And that reducer is going to allow us to roll in there. If you have a wheelchair person that's going to roll into the bathroom, or somebody who walks with a cane or something like that, or somebody who doesn't want to trip over it, but you want a ramp where people can walk in there. In addition to this area, as we're finishing up, we have to get this electrical panel done. This is going to be something that's going to be inspected by the City of Los Angeles, building and safety inspectors, but all the breakers and switches and plugs is all connected to this meter panel. This sub panel is got to be finished off, and it's going to have a panel in there. It's going to be labeled for each room, for each of the cords that are here that goes to a switch or plug for the breaker. And then up here, we have our attic. Our attic space has to have a lighting. You can see there's a light there, a light fixture there. So we have to put the finished lighting fixture on that light fixture so that we can turn it on, and that if we have a mechanic for the air conditioning unit needs to go in there, he has a light to work around in that room. That is code. That is code for almost every city or county in California, that you have to have a light fixture in the attic so they can do work inside there whenever possible. So as we transition out, I'm going to talk about some things in the ADU, what we're going to be looking for as well. So you just got to pay attention to these little detailed things, because it looks like it's all finished, but it's not 100% yet. We're at about 97% completed, but I want to show you some things in the ADU that's going to make you look a little bit more into the detail. So if you take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. So pay attention to the details. So we're right now in the courtyard between the ADU and the main house. And now that our stucco color is finished, put on, and it's applied, we have to worry about the details of what we need to go on the outside. And that is putting in our plumbing finishes and our electrical finishes. And as we see here, these bars here, that is our tankless water heater is going to go there. And with the tankless water heater, you have to have a plug outlet so it can plug into. So right next to it, we have the electrical outlet that's got to be at that point, in addition to the light fixture that goes onto the outside of the door, because you have to have that light. And then so all these things get addressed after we put the stucco color on. It's just going to take a couple hours to get all the other things applied on there, and that way we bring it home and it's nice and finished. So now that we're here in the ADU, and we're just near completing the ADU now, we just had some cabinets put in there and some baseboards put in there, and some of the things you have to look out for. Right now we have our first coat of our paint on the wall, and we're waiting for a second coat to go on. But before we put the second coat on, we have to put these baseboard in. And as we look over here, we can see that down here we have the baseboard in, and we have some overspray here. So when they put the baseboard in, they took a spray gun and they started spraying all the way down from one side to the other in the corner, all the way down to the end. And as we go down to the finish over here, we have more of the white covering, and then we had to mask over the door so that the door would not get spray paint on. We have a painter that was attention to details, which is great. And now that we have this done, now that the cabinets are in, the countertops need to go in on these things well. So we have our stove area right here, where our cabinets are going to be, our countertops going to be here and on this side, so that we have a space for the stove to be able to be put in place. And then we're going to have a corner cabinet right there. We're going to transition around. Over here will be our sink area, and then we have our cabinet pulls on there already. So they're already done, soft touch closed. We have our upper cabinets here, and we have our crown molding at the top as well. So those things are detailed. So in this case, we'll probably use 2 slabs because of the prefabricated slabs that's going to come in here. They're going to be about 2 feet by 9 foot long. And as we transition, you can see our covered floor. This is where our floor is going to look like. Our floor is that laminate floor, which is pretty good, but there are different qualities depending on the price point of your house. But as we transition to finishing up the details, I'm going to take you to the bedroom area so you can see some of the stuff that's near completed as well. So follow me over here. We have our laundry room area that's going to be on this side. You can still see we need some finishes there for our electrical plugs, our plumbing fixtures there, and some of our plates that need to go on here as well. And then we also have more electrical. Is that something? More electrical needs to go in here. So our electrician has to finish everything first before we can have the painter finish his finished paint. The painter guy should be the last contractor in this house, so that when he's finished, there's no more touching up. The only thing we need at that point, after he's here, is our cleaning crew to remove all the trash, debris, paper off the floor, all the tapes off, the light fixtures, and that way we can now get it ready for staging and get ready for on the market. So we're about 7 days away from having this house hit the market, coming to you. So at this stage of the game, thank you for taking a walk with me through this project, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one on the finish of this property. Once we stage it up, you can see how we have finished and completed it, and we'll have the student project owners come in and give you a testimony as to what they experienced through this project, because they have spent a lot of time and they're doing pretty good. So I'm so proud of them. Again, I'm Alton Jones. I will see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded.